In the UP, you have some lakes that are very brown in color, and that's due to tannic acids where they have a lot of cedar trees that are around the shoreline, and the needles start to break down and decompose in the water, and they add tannic acids. So that's why the UP has such brown color.
First of all, I would say every lake is very different. They have underlying geologies that are different, which dictate the kind of sediments that they may have, which dictates the different kinds of chemistry, water chemistry that they have, which then can dictate different aquatic vegetation communities and algal communities, as well as fisheries and zooplankton in the base of the food chain. So every one is very different. You can have two lakes that are even connected to each other that are entirely different.
Clean water is like one of the most important resources we can have. Like, you look at any third world country that might have disease problems, health problems, it's number one related to poor water quality. So it's one of our most important resources.
It's important, I think, to look at it in a socio-ecological context. So we have communities that are centered around these lakes, and those communities depend on the lakes for not just sustenance, like fishing and food, but also depend on them for property values, recreation, navigation, things like that. So it's very important to maintain the health of the lakes because it maintains the municipal tax base in a community and also amenities that people want, and that they pay for in the lakes.
So I think in recent times, we're starting to see issues with the whitefish population, which depends heavily on plankton. So we're starting to see maybe the zebra mussels are affecting fish in the food chain.
Overdevelopment can be very negatively impactful for an environment, in particular lakes. But I do think that probably the most negatively impactful would be a tie between invasive species and excessive nutrient pollution that can result in excessive algal growth like blue-green algae, which emits toxins. So it's kind of a cascade effect that once you have a lot of development, you have a lot of pollution, and a lot of nutrients coming into a lake, you start to have a lot of things happen, like an overgrowth of weeds and algae that can then, the algae can become a public health hazard.
That's the key, is we gotta continuously monitor our populations, see what's going on. But Michigan is, if you go around, we have really clean water. We have good water in our lakes. Inland lakes are really clear in this part of the state. We have some of the best rivers around. So we want to preserve that. We want to keep that.